Today, I'm going to talk about why I own AMD and TSM, but not Intel. So, the first thing comes down to profitability. I like to invest in highly profitable businesses. You can take a look at the Intel earnings, right? They lost $2 a share last quarter. This is a company that's not profitable. While they might have a lot of optimism about their future CPU business, right now it's not delivering. Meanwhile, you've got AMD growing their earnings at 154% year over year, significantly already expanding their profit margin. TSM's doing the very same thing. Very highly profitable business. TSM actually only has a PE ratio of 20, which is great. AMD is actually closer to the $77 mark, which seems very high. But what AMD can do is, I really believe that as they increase their sales, I believe that their revenue growth right now, it's 50% year over year, so very high. Much higher than Intel's 25% and even higher than the latest report from TSM, which was 37% year over year. So I like high growth also. AMD and TSM outpace the growth. I think one of the things that's interesting about the growth is that it's a sign that the customers believe it's the best product out there. So if AMD is increasing their sales much more, TSM is increasing their sales, in some ways that means that TSM is a better foundry and the AMD has better CPUs. The market and many analysts believe that too. It's just another data point to say, hey, these are in higher demand and customers are demanding more of them at a higher rate than they are at Intel. Next up, we've got what AMD could do in the future. Now, Intel could possibly do this too, but the higher revenue growth for AMD at 50%, as well as their data center business accelerating well over 100% going into the future, is what we've received comments from their CEO, means that their total revenue is going to continue to trend, or should at least continue to trend well above 50%, I believe, likely possibly above 100% in the next year to two. So the interesting thing there is the revenue comes in, they should be able to also very quickly grow their profit margin. So if you have a profit margin today, it's at about 20% in AMD. They have the opportunity, I believe, to grow it over the next year to two to 60%. So that drops that PE ratio of, let's just say, about 75 all the way down to 25. Then as you double your sales, you're also going to obviously, double the earnings you make on each one at the profit margin. So that would actually further push their profit margin with twice the amount of sales down to 12. So you're seeing how AMD at a PE ratio of 75, if they can deliver over the next year or 18 months, that it really becomes a deep value play. And that's one of the things I'm most bullish about. I believe that the CPU business has enormous room to grow. I believe TSM's foundry business is exactly the same thing. And those who can make the best products and those who can, operate their business the most efficiently, in TSM's case with a much higher, efficiency rate in their foundries and their yield that they have when they make their wafers. I believe that should translate into a better investment for investors. So, I'm an active manager. I run the AOTG ETF. It's a high growth, low marginal cost ETF. So what that means is I don't just buy a basket of everything. I'm not just buying a semiconductor basket. I want to buy the companies with the best growth, that have the highest amount of profitability, because I actually believe also owning highly profitable companies that are dedicated to buybacks, things like that, I actually believe it makes it safer. And it's kind of common sense. Of course, if you buy an unprofitable company, that's riskier than buying one that's making money. So I believe that there's safety in the higher revenue growth, and there's also safety in the higher earnings growth. So that's why I steer towards AMD and TSM, and I don't own any Intel myself. So you guys, thanks for tuning in. Check out my page on X at John Tinsman AOT. Also check out my YouTube page, Investing with John Tinsman. It's been a pleasure. See you guys next time. Like and subscribe.